Well, as you perhaps know, my name is Kamla Bhasin. I'm 68 years old, and since 1970, which is 44 years ago, I've been working on issues related to justice, human rights, women's empowerment, helping men and boys look at themselves. I write songs for different people's movements and organizations. Presently, I'm working with Jagori, a women's resource and training center in Delhi and in Himachal. I grew up in rural Rajasthan, where my father was a medical doctor and he was transferred from one village to another. During that time and later on, there was an atmosphere in the country because we were a newly independent country to make a strong, equal, just India for everyone. When I was 26 and I said, why should I be working abroad when there is so much work to be done in India? I came back and I joined a small NGO, at that time small, but today a large NGO called Seva Mandir, etc. My first urge was to work on issues related to poverty, ill health, lack of education, etc. I did that for 4 years. So, this is how I got involved with this kind of work. The main challenges were structures which were making inequality, which were producing inequality and injustice. Unfortunately, Hinduism, the religion I'm born into, is the only religion which treats its own people, Hindus, as untouchables, as lowly, and discriminates against almost 30% of Hindus. Similarly, patriarchy, another structure, another mindset which believes men are superior to women. I mean, it's a myth, it's a superstition, but so deep in the minds of men and women that women are inferior, men are superior. Well, gender workshops and trainings and courses are those gatherings of people where we discuss what is gender and we explain to people, and unfortunately, even NGOs who are working so called on women and men's equality still have not understood the concept of gender. Governments who use this word liberally, people don't understand even the word, the concept gender. Then, for example, gender has nothing to do with biology. Gender does not mean male and female sex. That is called sex today. Gender is the socially given definition of a girl and a boy. So we explain that because gender is created by society, we are all society, so we can change gender. So basically, my gender workshops are not just mental. We talk of emotions, we talk about ourselves. So they are experiential, where we share our own experiences. I believe all these things have impacted the way we are making policies today. I think all these things, not just by me, but by all others who are part of the women's movement, I feel that the laws which are being constantly changed are not being changed by governments on their own, or the UN policies are not being made by the UN on their own. It is the women's movement which creates these demands, which creates a noise, which mobilizes people. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, religion and culture play a very important role actually in creating gender inequalities. My opinion, in my experience, all modern day religions are patriarchal in their structures. Women have no presence in the decision making bodies of all modern day religions. And I call all these religions which we have today, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam, Sikhism, and all others, I call them modern religions because they are all 4 to 5 thousand years old. But before these religions came, there were other religions where we worshipped nature. And there are still millions of people who worship Mother Nature, never Father Nature. Similarly, in our earlier religious beliefs, we worshipped women. These modern religions are all post patriarchal religions. So the women goddesses were removed from these mainstream religions. So, all these religions, if they don't accept women as goddesses, if they don't accept women as priests, that means they consider men to be superior and women to be inferior. But I think we need a cultural revolution. And I'm saying this not just about India. What I have said is true of the Western world. Patriarchy is as much in India as it is in the US or the UK or in Australia or in Russia. It's a global system, and even in the US, it is Bush Senior, Bush Junior, Bush More Junior. Lady Bushes are not there, they're the wives. The daughters do never become Bush Jr. or Bush or Kennedy Jr. So, this is a global system and not just Indian or third world. 1 Billion Rising, as you might know, was started by V Day. V Day was started by a woman called Eve Ensler, a playwright, a woman who was raped by her own father for many years and who wrote this world famous play, which has been done in 70, 80 countries in 70, 80 languages. So, me, I am the South Asia coordinator, and because I work with Sangat, which hosts the South Asian Secretariat of 1 Billion Rising, and I then in turn selected women in the region and involved them in this, women who were already working on the issue. So we didn't start our work on violence against women because of V Day or because of Eve. Eve just brought us all together globally. And I'm very proud to say that 1 Billion Rising is the largest mobilization ever on planet Earth. These campaigns and movements are not recent. In India, we've been having campaigns and movements for almost 200 years, which are documented. The changes are at all levels. Our laws have constantly been improved, they've been becoming more stringent. The government policies, as a result of the women's movement, have been much more gender sensitive. Educational efforts have ensured that girls and women are now in all educational institutions, in all the professions. Women have entered and they have shown they are no less than men. Oh, I'm happy to see that you people know about my music CD. But before I tell you about this one, I need to tell you that since the middle of 1980s, I've been writing songs and producing music cassettes, because in 85 we didn't have CDs, so cassettes. And I produced in the 80s and 90s 8 or 9 audio cassettes with music and songs. So this is the latest in the series of those, and so we've just done this 10th production of ours, and this I've been doing with one of my organizations, Jagori. All these songs are about equality of all kinds: gender equality, caste equality, class equality. They are on different movements, for example, anti-liquor movement, anti-child labor movement. So as I said earlier, I write songs on any campaign with which I am involved, and it has 13 songs written by me and one song by a group in Tamil Nadu. So this one is dedicated to 1 Billion Rising 2015. It is dedicated to a global symposium, a global NGO called Men Engage, just organized in Delhi in November. And I was actively involved in organizing it. And this CD is dedicated to one of the organizations which I helped found, Jagori. Every song I write is my favorite song. To congratulate themselves for becoming activists and change agents. I can tell you from my life, nothing can give you more satisfaction. Nothing can make your life more meaningful than being an activist for any justice, for any kind of equality, for any kind of genuine democracy. And in my own life, I've had my share of problems. 3 years ago, my son reacted to a vaccination and his brain was completely damaged. He's now a 33-year-old man, but completely challenged. Quadriplegic, meaning no motor function, no head control, and no speech. Years ago, I lost my only daughter, who was doing her PhD at Oxford. My daughter was a human rights activist, a dancer, a peace activist, an activist striving for religious harmony. She was depressed, clinical depression. She committed suicide some 7 years ago. And I truly believe that if I didn't have my work, I would be dead emotionally. I wouldn't be writing still these songs, etc. I'm so grateful that I have this work, I have this passion. And now, of course, I have double work to do because I have to do all the work my daughter was doing. And my own agendas are still there. So my message to all the activists is fantastic that you have chosen this. You can never be unhappy. My idea of an empowered woman is exactly the same as my idea of an empowered man, because I believe in human beings. It doesn't depend on the vaginas and penises, it depends on our values. For me, an empowered woman would be strong and gentle, rational and emotional, caring, nurturing, but not subservient, not willing to be insulted. A woman who believes in dialogue, a woman who rejects violence, a woman who does not promote patriarchy to make money. First of all, I'm very happy to hear about Sayfty and the work it is doing. I feel when a woman is violated, her humanity is violated. And no girl and woman should have to suffer violence. And no girl and woman should accept it as her fate. We need to all fight against it, reject it in others, reject it in ourselves. That you are empowering yourselves, you are skilling yourselves in how to fight violence. And my other message would be, just because you are empowered now, please don't use your power, and use your newfound power and techniques and skills of self-defense to protect others who are not yet there where you are.
उमड़ी है देखो सारी दुनिया, अब भागेगी हिंसा। उमड़ी है देखो सारी दुनिया, अब भागेगी हिंसा। बोली है देखो सारी दुनिया,